Alright, so let's go over the ES and what happened today, and then I'll go over a lesson. So, in the morning, 8:33, you had the breakout. This is the breakout where it says BO, right? And after that, it follows through. So when the breakout clearly follows through, it becomes a rally, meaning when you have follow through after the breakout, it becomes a rally. The steps in how a market works, as it trends, especially in an uptrend, it first breaks out, and then you have to see if the market is going to fall back in, because it could be an upthrust. But if it doesn't and you have follow through, it's a rally. It rallies into a higher range. So this is the breakout. Why is it breakout? Because it's above this high. This is the high. This is the breakout, expanding range and volume. And that's a breakout. And then it follows through. So what happens is, once you have breakout, follow through, rally, what happens? It pulls back to test the breakout. This is very basic, but you just have to put it all together, right? So you got breakout, rally, after that pulls back to test the breakout. It has multiple tests. There's multiple tests. But the bottom line is it's gonna test the breakout and see if it holds, and it did. Test right here, 1, test 2, test 3. It's testing and retesting until it does what? It rallies again. How do you know it rallies? This is a high, and the market moves, expanding range, volume. You see this range? That's the breakout. Why is it breakout? Because it takes out this high. What do you need after a breakout? Follow through. Do you have follow through? Yes, you do. Where's the follow through? 1, 2, 3, 4 bars. That established the breakout with follow through, which becomes a rally. What happens after that? It pulls back. Pulls back where? To test the breakout. Where is that? Right here. What happens after that? You have a reversal attempt. What do you want to see on the reversal attempt? You want to see green bar, big range, right? So that's what you get. Breakout, rally because of the follow through, pull back to test the breakout, and this time it also tested this VWAP, and it reversed. But you don't really need that. It just has to test the breakout. That's on every time frame. That's the situation, because this is the way the market works. It works in trend. Again, in trend, basically the market has to go higher in an uptrend, so it has to break out. And then the only question is, how much follow through does it have, and then where does it pull back and test, and whether there's a reversal. So it's the way the market naturally moves from one point to a higher point. Breakout, follow through here. This is the rally, pull back to test, right? And then you have your reversal. In this case, this reversal bar, and you have this one also is a reversal bar. How do you know it's a reversal bar? Because it has to test the breakout first, and then you have to have demand strength. So from perspective of a bar, you need at least a green bar with decent range, right? Anyway, so market then does what? It's going to take out, after this, it's going to take out these highs. Does it do that right here? It takes them out. It rallies. It pulls back one, pulls back, test another. What are you looking at? The volumes are low on the tests here and here. Why is it coming back to this area? Sometimes it's difficult to detect, but this is the breakout bar right here. This breakout bar above this high. This is the breakout bar. So this is going to get tested. It gets tested once, gets sprung here, just like I got sprung here and here. Tap, retest, breakout, comes a rally, comes back. What it's going to do, it's going to test. Where does it test? Right here. What happens after that? Reversal. Where's the reversal? Right here and here. Another test. What happens after the test? You get a reversal. That reversal also is a breakout. Continues higher. So it keeps on doing that until it almost right here broke down. But because you had the breakdown right here beneath these lows and a rally. And then as it moved up to test this breakdown, what happened? The buyer stepped in and said, we're going to go higher instead. We're not going to downtrend yet. And they broke out and rallied. Once it breaks out and rallies, you pull back where? To the breakout bar. Right here. Tests it, and you have that reversal again, which leads to a retest. And then you have a reversal. And then pop. Sometimes you have to be careful with the inducements, but they want you to get in the opposite direction only because they're going to continue in the same direction and use that short covering for this move. So anybody who went short here, it's either this, stops got run. If they're holding it still, boom, that's what happens. Because of the shorts. Alright, so in this basic lesson, I'm going to cover reversals and trends. Let's cover trends first. So in an uptrend, you've seen this, right? But now let's dissect it to what it really is. This is the breakout, and because it has follow through, it becomes a rally. Then you have a test, after which you have typically a bigger bar, which is a reversal, like a big green bar. That leads to the next rally. And here we had a breakout again. Just pull back to test. You have a reversal. And the same thing happens. Breakout, rally, test, reversal. So the higher high, higher low, they don't really go into the elements of a breakout with the follow through, becoming a rally, pulling back to test, and then a reversal occurring. So the four key behaviors in this chart that not being explained typically is 1, the breakout, 2, the follow through, which makes the breakout into a rally, followed by a test, which can be, it's typically 1 to 4 legs, meaning it can test and retest and retest and retest, but it's typically 1 to 4. And obviously it's usually just 1, 2, sometimes 3, but it's usually up to 4. After that, it's really weird because it could be a base. After 3, it's a potential base for a reversal possibly, but typically this is unknown. It's just, you just know. It's testing and retesting like what I showed. And then 5, you have the reversal. Breakout, follow through, rally, test, and the retest multiple times, and then a reversal. So this is how you can easily read trend, and you can easily read a chart. You can easily read an uptrend or a downtrend in a chart by looking at these key behaviors instead of trying to read everything. You can just look at the structure. This is reading by understanding the structure. All right, and then you just apply this on the chart. The breakout, follow through becomes a rally, pulls back to test the breakout, and when it does that, you have a reversal. This is how trends move. This is how trends move. Okay. Now, what is variable? All right. What is variable? Here. Variable is what you don't know is how many tests. So how many tests are going to occur, right? You don't know. It could be one, it could be a spring, which is the second test. It could be a spring retest, which would mean that there are 3 tests. If you have the first pullback is a test of a breakout, the second will be a spring, and the third could be a test of a spring. So you don't know how many tests there are, and you don't know the depth of the pullback, the depth of the test. So you don't know how, is it going to be a 50% retracement, is it going to be a 61.8, or is it going to be a 78%? You don't know the depth. So these are 2 unknowns when it comes to pullbacks. When you're doing pullback trading, there are 2 key unknowns: how many tests and the depth, meaning the amount of retracement the test is going to take. Those 2 are unknowns. Those are variables. But anyway, it doesn't really matter, because what mitigates this is the breakout bar, because even though you don't know how deep the test is, you know a general idea, and that's what I'm showing you here. This is the breakout bar. This is what's going to get tested. They're going to test it here, here, here. So we just wait for the test and then the reversal. So you don't need to anticipate in advance, is it going to be 50% or 30% or 80%. You just wait. It just goes and then it reverses. And the second thing is, typically when the test is done, you're going to get one of these big bars. That's what I see all the time. And that's called the reversal. Usually the bar is going to be a big bar. It's going to be a big green bar. That's going to have above average range. So even this, so over here is slightly above average range, but this one is 1.33 times average range. It's 1.33. So 33% increase in range. That's good reversal. Right? Right there, 1.33. This one is only 15%, but it's a reversal. That one is 34%. Very good. That's good. This one is 20%. You can see all the time the reversal is like a breakout bar in that its range is expanding. You know? Here, 26%. Here, it's double. Here, you can't detect it, except for this one. This one is a little bit, it's 24% increase right here. And this is 88%. And, you know, it goes up here, over here. This is 57% right here. This green bar that's testing this area, 57% above average. So 1.57. You see? So now we have a breakout, rally, pull back to test. Watch right after it. This is 33% above average, 1.33. This one is 1.65. Again, this one is double. So over here it gets a little tricky because they try to induce the sellers in order to get the short covering to create this pop. So rally, breakout, pullback, it's in test position, right? Now we just wait to see the green bar, and the range is 20%. That's valid right there. That's a trigger. Here, 41%. I mean, obviously, what do you think is going to happen? It's reversing. It's not a below average. It's above average. Above average, 1.2, which is 20% more, and this 41% more. And then pop. So, what was I saying? Breakout, follow through, becomes a rally, pull back to test the breakout, and then has a reversal, which is typically which has to be above average range. So it's typically greater than 1 ATR. So, you know, like 1.3, 1.25, that's how the reversal, the height of the reversal bar. And the variables in this is how many tests. Is it 1 pullback, or 2 pullback, or 3 pullback, or 4? How many tests? We don't know, and we don't know the depth. So we don't really care. You just wait for it to test the breakout bar and the reversal. And done. Right? So this is one easy way to read a uptrend. Uptrend reading. If it's sideways, it's not gonna work. But if it's uptrending, it will work. All right? Take care. Bye.